Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran both wrote their biggest hits when they stopped using the axis chord progression. This is really interesting. I've been talking about this for years now, but it looks like it was already true 10 years ago. So this chart shows the number of streams of each of Taylor Swift's songs. These are her biggest hits from each year from 2008. So this is Love Story, this is You Belong With Me, Mine, Mean, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, 22, Shake It Off, and so on. So the red columns show songs that include the axis chord progression. The 1, 5, 6, 4 or any combination of these four chords. This shows that Taylor Swift became really successful when she stopped using the axis chord progression. Now this one shows Ed Sheeran's biggest hits from each year. This is even more interesting. This is Drunk, I See Fire, Don't, Thinking Out Loud, Shape of You, and so on. So again, it looks like he wrote his all-time biggest hit when he stopped using the axis chord progression. And then he started to use it again, and the number of streams are much lower on these newer songs. Okay, I admit that the chord progression alone doesn't determine the success of a song. Like, there are so many variables, the melody, the instrumentation, and so many other things. But still, this is really interesting data and keeps you wondering why people are still promoting the idea of the axis chord progression after so many years. Maybe nobody looked at the data before, I don't know. We can clearly see that at least it probably doesn't have to use it. And here's what's even more interesting. About 80 to 90% of the top 50 songs on Spotify today follow the exact same concepts as these two songs, Shake It Off and Shape of You, when it comes to chord progressions. Look at Tate McRae's latest album. These are the two songs that contain the axis chord progression, and they are far from being the most successful on the album. And the most successful song on the album, Greedy, follows the exact same concept as Shake It Off and Shape of You. One thing is for sure, regardless of the data, when I hear a song today with the axis chord progression, I feel like it's already overused and it feels cheap. And this is probably what the average music listener feels when they hear it. Now, people say all the time that you shouldn't follow a formula or there's no formula, but I think the real problem is with following the wrong formula.